Slight break in transmission. We should now be on the official stream that we'd set up. Sorry about the technical problem there. Anyway, so yes, I mean the geology of this area is a history of billions of years, uninterrupted. So it will be really interesting to see what's there. That whole landscape is extremely looks very strange and haunting and mysterious. You can see it behind me. But this is where NASA are planning to land Artemis 3 at the end of 2025. And as we were saying the other night, there are lots of other missions that are planned to land here as well. China, South Korea, other countries as well are planning to sort of zero in on the South Pole to investigate it and see if they can actually try and sample the water that is meant to be here, if all of the orbiting spacecraft have got it correct, which they seem to do. So here we are. So we're just a few minutes now before the landing. As you can see, mission control there in India, and I can see figures on a screen there, but I'm not quite sure what they represent.
Yeah, they've actually almost looked as though they've got a camera pointed at the moon.
Yes, it
in
does.
One of the screens there.
It does, doesn't it? In the middle,
yeah.
It looks like there's a camera pointed at the moon.
Yeah.
In which case, it's still at some considerable altitude. I'm just trying to work out from those figures. There's a 30 there. Would that be kilometers? Maybe, I don't know. But also progressing well. Let's just listen in for a moment to see whether we can work out what's happening. Nothing much going on at the moment. Oh, they're clapping something.
जी हाँ, अब हम देख सकते हैं रफ ब्रेकिंग फेज की शुरुआत हो चुकी है.
During this rough braking phase, the lander velocity shall be brought down from 1,680 meters per second to 358 meters per second. The altitude will be brought down from 30 kilometers to 7.4 kilometers at the end of rough braking. All this in the duration of 690 seconds or 11.5 minutes. Currently, the Laser Inertial Reference and Accelerometer package (LIRAP) is aiding in the navigation.
जी हाँ, अभी आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि लैंडर अब तक कुल 191 किलोमीटर horizontal दिशा.
Right, so I was right. So that figure on the right is the altitude. Yeah. That's 30.48 kilometers.
And the landing bird's underway. So
the landing bird has started.
Oh, exciting stuff.
Yeah, there we are. You can see it there, 31 kilometers. Seems to be climbing.
Okay.
Now it's going. It's definitely climbing. Right.
Oops.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just give it time. It's probably all nominal, as they say.
Yes, it's probably all nominal.
So,
well, it has survived this far, which in itself is a great achievement.
Yeah, well, it's been quite a long project because it launched. When did it launch? Was it the 14th of July?
Yes, it was the 14th.
Yeah, it launched on the 14th of July. It entered translunar injection was on the 31st of July. So it had been round, already for quite a long time. It took it a while getting there. And then since then it went into a very large elliptical orbit. And since then it's been performing lots of maneuvers, bringing it closer and closer to the, I was going to say the sun, the moon. So that's till we got to this position today. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes fine for them. We need some good news. I can actually see on the screen there they've got what looks like lunar images.
Yes.
So they've taken this panel. Oh, there we are.
I'll just say that the actual trajectory from the Earth to the Moon was achieved by subsequently raising orbits of the Earth until the spacecraft reached the gravity of the Moon influence and the influence of the gravity of the Moon, and then slowly did more orbits of the Moon to get down to the position where they needed to be to do the landing burn. So it was all done through different, raising and lowering orbits, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, because that took 10 days.
Exactly.
It did five individual maneuvers, slowly, as you said, Michael, raising its orbit before it actually left the Earth's gravity on this way to the Moon. So yeah.
So I suppose you could say it's an efficient way, but in fuel wise, if you like, but not in time.
Yeah, it's definitely coming down now.
Yeah, you can see that now, coming down quite nicely.
Yeah.
With the horizontal velocity decreasing.
Yeah.
And the vertical velocity, of course, increasing as it descends.
Yeah. That's in meters per second.
Yes.
So it's moving at quite a bit of a speed at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
if you look at the graph, it's about to start the real descent.
I like the way on that image just then it said rough braking.
Yeah.
It's like it's thrown out an anchor or something.
Yeah.
Is that the proverbial anchor?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's sort of, how much are we going to deaccelerate it? Oh, I don't know. It's just roughly, whatever, 200 meters per second or whatever, or 50, up to you, really. So, rough braking. But that lovely image on the left of the approaching moon.
Oh, yeah.
That's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, that's nice.
Very reminiscent of...
Nice to see. Nice to see.
Very, very reminiscent of Apollo, isn't it?
Isn't it just?
Yeah. I mean, because the images when it actually reached the moon and it did its first flyby, they were crystal clear. They were fantastic.
They were.
We are spoilt now with the cameras that they use today.
Yeah.
I'm saying that actually, I watched the Russians launch the Progress mission to the International Space Station last night, and the cameras to say, I think they're still using Zyka or something like that. The images were there. You could see what was going on, but they weren't that good. But yeah,
they're probably ex shopping centre security cameras. Or...
Yeah, probably Zenit E's.
Yeah. There's nothing. No, don't diss the Zenit E.
It was a good camera as long as you could lift it up.
Yeah, it was substantial. You could drop it and it would survive.
Yeah, made of old tank parts.
Exactly. The Helios lens on the Zenit E was a phenomenal lens.
Yeah. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, but if you could lift it up to your eye, and well done.
Right. You realise you're showing your age now, don't you?
Who cares?
Oh well, yeah.
Who cares? Those poor kids who never experienced Russian technology like that.
Yeah. And film even.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it was good.
Ian's asking in the chat who's filming the video of the lander. I think it's Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't had a look in the chat. Hi guys. Hello Graham. Hello Ian. Hello Astronebulae. Nice of you to join us.
Steve's there as well.
And Steve's here. Yeah, Steve as well.
Gerard's here as well in the world. Hello, Gerard in the world. Hope the weather's good. Facebook user says, I came upon this by accident. Very lucky. Well, we are so glad that you did, Facebook user. And don't forget, if you want to tell us your name, you'll have to do so in your messages because we just see you as Facebook user, unfortunately. And we'd rather be a little less formal. So here we are. So we're just in the final, well, not the final approach. How long have we got to go? Still about 25 minutes. So plan to launch about 1:45. Or maybe plan to land about 1:45. Is that what I think?
Landing touchdown is in 16 minutes. Yeah, 16
minutes.
So
Yeah.
it says here, but
Yeah.
that could be out of date actually, because I think my thing's frozen. So
Yeah.
that's enough.
Roger says he can't use his telescope from Sparkford as moonrise is still 30 minutes away. Yeah. Yeah, very good. I bet it's a clear sky in Sparkford, as always. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you all for joining us. It's great to have you with us twice this week. So fingers crossed for a successful landing. Lovely image of the moon there. Look. It's not a video, as you can see. It's updating every so often. So it's not an actual live feed. It's a camera.
Yeah, so sorry, I've got to correct myself. It's 11 minutes to touchdown. Sorry.
11 minutes to touchdown.
Hey.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, 16. It's down to 16.5 kilometers now. And we will join the commentary from ISRO just in the final couple of minutes, I think, just to listen to what they say. Let's hope it's a we're down, hurrah, rather than a whoops. Because I would not like to have been in the Russian control room last week when Lunar 25 was lost. That must have been dreadful.
No.
So
I mean, I'm not. It probably wasn't, but the whole thing seemed to be quite rushed.
Yes.
I don't know. It's very, very sad that those people have put a lot of work into that. And space is one of these. No matter what the geopolitics is happening in this world, but space is one place where everybody comes together. So, you know, it's one of these things that it can bring people together. Geopolitics put aside, and so we like I said, we are sad for what actually happened. We want people to succeed. So
we do.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, of course, what actually happened with the with Lunar 25 was that they fired its engine to put them into the final configuration of orbit, if you like, before landing. And the main engine should have fired for 84 seconds, and it actually fired for 157. That's what actually happened, and they couldn't turn the main engine off. So when they did get it off, it had accelerated the spacecraft and accelerated it towards the surface of the moon.
Yeah.
Very sad.
I don't know what you're posting, Michael, but I've got to review your message, so better not be naughty.
Never.
Right. So let's now join the Indian Space Research Organisation. Let's listen to the last few minutes of their commentary.
Yes, we are privileged to have with us Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, who has joined us from South Africa's Johannesburg to encourage us.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
जी हाँ, आप ये देख सकते हैं एल्टीट्यूड होल्ड फेस भी बहुत ही आसानी से लैंडर फेस ने पार कर लिया है और अब फाइन ब्रेकिंग की शुरुआत हो चुकी है। अभी हम ये देख सकते हैं कि लैंडर की ऊंचाई लगभग 5.6 किलोमीटर है, जो कि इस फेज के उपरांत लगभग 800 मीटर हो जाएगी।
Okay.
Right.
We can hear from the mission operations team that the sensors are performing nominally, and we are currently in the midst of the fine braking phase, which is going to continue for 3 minutes, and the altitude is going to be reduced to nearly 800 meters at the end of this phase.
Gosh.
जी हाँ,
Crucial
जैसे कि
time.
आरुषि जी ने बताया कि लगभग 3 मिनट के उपरांत लैंडर की हाइट लगभग 800 मीटर वर्टिकली होगी और यहाँ पे लैंडर की हॉरिजेंटल वेलोसिटी, वर्टिकल वेलोसिटी, इवन डाउन रेंज भी लगभग शून्य होगा।
Because it was about this time that they lost Chandrayaan-3.
We can see the visual of the lander module, and we can see that the downrange traveled is nearly 831 kilometers.
Yeah, because of course none of this is easy.
No, it's
Was it the Japanese who lost theirs? And it was due to the ground radar. It passed over a big
जी
crater,
हाँ, आप
and
अपनी
all
स्क्रीन
so it
पे
was
देख
reading
सकते
the
हैं कि
surface, and then
लैंडर
of
की
course it
ऊंचाई
dropped
अब
away,
चंद्रमा की सतह से लगभग
yeah.
3 किलोमीटर से कम हो
and it
चुकी है।
thought it was higher than it really was.
It's very sad.
So
But
We
we're
are
down to 2
very
kilometers
close to the
now.
moon's surface, nearly 2.6 kilometers as we can see.
Very
yeah,
exciting.
I'm looking at those craters on those images.
Well, it seems to be coming down between them, which is good. Look, it's definitely over,
Yeah.
Oh,
not over a big crater. I'm going to be really interested to see exactly where the landing site is,
Yeah,
so I can find it on the map. The Prime
he
Minister
looks a
looks
bit stern,
जी
doesn't he?
हाँ,
Yeah, he
अभी
looks a
आप
bit
देख
stern.
सकते हैं
tense.
कि लैंडर की ऊंचाई लगभग 1 किलोमीटर के आसपास है।
1 kilometer coming up or coming down. Now biting stuff.
We are nearing the final phase of the power descent, which is going to be the vertical descent phase or the local navigation phase.
Now this is where it gets tricky.
Yeah.
जी हाँ, अब हम फाइन ब्रेकिंग वेव्स के एकदम करीब आ चुके हैं। हाँ, आप तालियों
Right,
के
so we've
गड़गड़ाहट
started
से
time
सुन सकते
breaking.
हैं कि हम लोगों ने
Time breaking.
तीसरे चरण को भी
And now
बहुत ही
descending.
सफलतापूर्वक हासिल कर लिया है और अभी हम वर्टिकल डिसेंट फेज में आ चुके हैं, जिसकी शुरुआत भी
Fingers crossed,
बहुत ही अच्छे
everybody.
ढंग से हो चुकी है।
Yeah. Let's get back to the telemetry, please. Vertical
A
descent.
lot of applause indicates that till now the performance has been nominal. We are in the vertical descent phase 1. The altitude is being brought down from 800 meters and we are nearing and approaching the lunar surface.
जी, आप अपने स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि लैंडर का हाइट लगातार कम होता जा रहा है। इस समय हम लैंडिंग साइट के जस्ट ऊपर हैं और इस समय इसकी ऊंचाई लगभग 600 मीटर के आसपास है।
Come on, let's see the altitude.
इस फेज के दौरान लगभग 150 मीटर के ऊंचाई पे पहुंचने के बाद
Ooh, 100
लैंडर
meters.
अगेन लगभग 20 से 22 सेकंड के लिए हॉवरिंग करेगा।
I think that image on the left looks a bit.
We are above the landing site. The horizontal as well as the vertical velocity is now being constantly reduced. And the lander module has begun its descent towards the landing site.
It's only 8 meters a second now vertical.
Yeah.
So ooh,
जी हाँ, आप अपने स्क्रीन पे देख सकते
6
हैं
meters a
ये जो
second.
पथ
5
निर्धारित
meters a
किया गया
second.
है,
So
लैंडर
slowly.
पूरी तरह से उसी को ही फॉलो कर रहा है। इस समय हम लगभग 200 मीटर की हाइट से भी कम आ चुके हैं। अब हम ये देख सकते हैं कि हम लगभग 150 मीटर की ऊंचाई पे हैं चंद्रमा के सतह से।
That's not looking good. The vertical velocity is dropping off
We
extremely
are
rapidly.
approaching the vertical descent phase 2, which will have the lander module hovering
That's it, it's
at
hovering.
nearly
That's it.
150 meters above
जी
the
हाँ,
lunar
It's hovering.
surface.
जी हाँ, आप इस तालियों के गड़गड़ाहट को सुन सकते हैं, जो कि सेकंड हैवरिक फेज के कंप्लीट होने के बाद इन
I
सारे
was worried.
वैज्ञानिकों के
I thought they were
It's
going to go.
retargeted.
I thought they were going to go into negative figures then.
Yeah.
जी हाँ, आप अगर फिर से ध्यान से देखें तो एल्टीट्यूड पुनः
Oh,
कम
that's
होता जा
very
रहा है।
slow. Easy
अभी हम
to
लोग
say.
लगभग
2 meters a second.
135 मीटर की ऊंचाई पे हैं।
Oh, they're taking it very easy.
The sensors that are updating at this point are providing confirmation of the safety of the landing site.
As expected, the retargeting is going on and this is a very good signature for the lander. अभी आप ये देख सकते हैं कि लैंडर की ऊंचाई लगभग 65 मीटर के आसपास बची हुई है।
I see we have Dave Galvin in the chat. Hi, Dave. Nice to see you.
Currently,
Hi,
only 2 engines are now being fired. and we are nearly at zero velocity, vertical and horizontal. We were hovering, and now we are approaching the moon's surface.
Right, so they've
Wow.
धीरे
retargeted
धीरे
probably boulder
लैंडर
or a
की
crater away.
वेगमान को कम किया जा रहा है
So they're
और
now
हम अब
descending
लगभग
again.
50 मीटर से भी कम आ चुके हैं.
Very, very, very nice manoeuvres being carried out here.
We can see the Honorable Prime Minister,
Very
Shri
delicate, isn't it?
Narendra Modi
Very
ji,
delicate.
who is here to encourage us, and he is critically looking at the visuals.
Go Chandra. Go
Left
Chandra.
a bit, left a bit, left a bit. Up your end, down a bit.
जी हाँ,
It's
आप
there.
अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं
It's there.
कि हम लैंडर मॉड्यूल
India have successfully landed at the south pole of the moon.
People are applauding. Let
लैंडर
us all
मॉड्यूल
wait to hear from the Secretary Department
wait
of
the flag,
Space
go
and
on.
Chairman ISRO, Shri S. Somnath.
Can they got them a bigger
लैंडर
flag?
मॉड्यूल पूरी तरह से
Yeah.
सेफली
You're
और
gonna need a
सॉफ्टली
bigger flag.
चंद्रमा के सतह पे लैंड हो चुका है. ये हम
Well,
लोगों के लिए
congratulations.
बहुत ही गर्व की बात है.
Congratulations.
हिंदी में एक कहावत है,
Okay, congratulations to India then, because they have landed at the south pole of the moon, the first spacecraft to do so. This is a momentous day for India, so congratulations to everybody.
Yeah,
And
well
it's a
done.
momentous day for the exploration of the moon, because, as I said, nobody's ever done this before, and the south pole of the moon is an exceptionally
Yeah.
interesting place.
And actually, Dave's given us some technical information here. He says those graphics are done on a Spectrum computer. So,
They probably were, Dave. Yeah, they probably were. Yes, indeed. So, yes, Kevin, you're quite right, saying the Indian PM could have got a bigger flag. But Ian says, well, he's got 3 flags behind him. So, there we are. So many congratulations. Let's listen to, let's see if this commentary is in English now.
मेरे प्यारे परिवारजनों, जब हम अपनी आंखों के सामने
Obviously not. So, so there we are. Great. Well, the next step will, of course, will be to deploy the rover onto the surface of the moon so it can start doing scientific work. We will find out exactly where it landed, I'm sure, at some point today. And we'll show you that in our Monday live stream next week.
yeah, do we want to quickly run through what this little rover will be looking at, Andy?
Absolutely. Go for it.
Yeah, it's of a 6-wheel design. It's like the old Tyrrell Formula One car. It's 26 kilograms, so it's quite light. We could lift that. And it has a range of 500 meters. I won't go into all the dimensions and all that, but it's going to be looking at the composition of the lunar soil.
Yeah.
So that'll be the regolith. The presence of water ice in the lunar soil. It'll be looking at the history of lunar impact. So it's going to be looking at the craters and probably doing some spectroscopic analysis or mass spectroscopy stuff. So, and the evolution of the moon's atmosphere, because as we said, we all say the moon hasn't got an atmosphere, but it's got a very, very thin one. There is actually an atmosphere there, but it's very tenuous. Yes. So, but that's what it's going to be looking at. And as I said, I want to get down to the geology and have a look and see what's underneath all this regolith. So,
yes, definitely. Will the rover be actually able to dig much into the regolith? Does it say?
I honestly don't know, because I'm just looking at the design. I can't see anything like a shovel or a pick. So, yeah, they haven't sent any navies up. So,
no.
Yeah.
Well,
but hopefully we'll be able to glean some, because with the impact craters, the crust is going to be stirred up anyway, so it's going to be in the regolith and that anyway. So we should get a good idea of what's there. So yeah, well, congratulations! It's good. We've actually had a success. That's nice. I love it.
Yeah, I know. After the loss of Lunar 25 last week, this is a really big step forward for the study of the moon. And I bet the Russians are feeling a bit pig sick now watching this. So commiserations to the Russians.
Well, it's as you said on Monday, the Russians have, with not just because of that failure, they've said that they've really got to go back to basics and totally redesign. I did see a image of then what they're building as a new capsule, and it's totally different. It's almost a bit like what SpaceX are using. It's a far more modern design. Because, of course, when the fairing comes off of the actual rockets, you've got that big round bulbous thing, which is the cabin. But they're going towards the more traditional, what we see with the Americans and everybody else. So they're going back to the drawing board, and they're going to start from scratch. And more power to their elbow. Let's just hope they can sort themselves out.
As ever, it's the money, and the Russian space program, as much as any other sector of the Russian economy, is of course being hit largely by Western sanctions at the moment. So, perhaps that will improve once. Yeah.
Well, they relied upon a lot of Ukrainian. A lot of the components were made in Ukraine.
They were indeed.
And of course, it's the same for the Western countries, because they get a lot of manufactured goods from Ukraine, and of course it's affected the British space industry, because a lot of the technology was coming from Ukraine. Absolutely. And then it all kicked off, because we probably would have had launches already, but saying that, we haven't got any launch pads ready yet, so maybe not. But so it's if we can get ourselves sorted out, then hopefully we'll be launching soon. But we've got a lot of exciting times to come.
We've got a lot of exciting times, and we'll cover them all here on Space Oddities for you, of course. So let's just have one final listen to the commentary to see if there's anything happening in English, whether there's an interpreter. Just give me 1 second, and we will find out. No is the answer to that. So so there you are. So I think that will just about bring our broadcast today to a close. Thank you so much of you who've dropped in to watch this. I see we've got 39 people watching at the moment, so that's very good of everybody to watch.
Yeah, for a Wednesday afternoon.
For a Wednesday afternoon, that's wonderful. Next Monday we have as a very special guest the astronaut Scott Potteet, who is the pilot of the upcoming Polaris Dawn mission, which is due to launch no earlier than last quarter this year. An exceptionally pioneering, innovative space mission. Find out all about it on Monday when Scott joins us. If you have any questions for him, of course, you're more than welcome to ask. And we will look forward to having Scott as a real-life astronaut as our guest. He was originally meant to be with us in July, if I remember rightly, but due to one commitment or another, he's been unable to. So we're hoping he's able to join us next Monday. And we shall look forward to receiving him as our very special guest. It should be really interesting. So we'd like to thank you all for being with us this afternoon. Many congratulations to India for a spectacular and safe landing on the south pole of the moon. Can't wait to see the images, and they should be absolutely epic, and we will find out before then exactly where it landed.
Just before you go, Andy, Astro Nebula says, looks like you've aged a bit, Andy, but I like the 3 flags behind you.
Well, Astro Nebula, this is what spaceflight coverage does to you. It gives you premature aging. Let's just kill that. So, that's a bit close as well. So let's put us back. There we are. So, thanks, guys. Thanks a lot for being here. We do appreciate it. Wonderful.
Yeah, nice seeing you all.
And nice seeing you all. And we will see you on Monday with the astronaut Scott Potteet. So take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic week and weekend. And we'll see you on Monday, 8 o'clock UK time, as always.
Yeah. See you all.
Bye for now. Keep looking up.